Alright guys, so I thought it'd be fun to do another fanfiction idea, and since I still got Pacific Rim on the brain, I figured it'd be kind of cool to do a video talking about a like a Pacific Rim AU. So that's pretty much what we got. After how good Pacific Rim the Black was, I was like, yeah, let's do a video talking about a fun Pacific Rim AU. So this is set during before the events of the first movie. In this AU, you've got a bunch of different characters who are cadets, and they're all learning to pilot their respective Jaegers against the kaiju threat. So you've got, first and foremost, you've got Gaz and Dib are a brother-sister team in here, and their Jaeger is called Diablo Sigma. So Diablo Sigma is like this heavy fire-based pyromech, but also has like a weapon that can charge up like a black energy blade called the Darksaber. Yes, it's a reference to that Darksaber. So you got them. You've got Dipper and Mabel, who pilot a giant mech called Cypher Behemoth, which is this big, just hulking giant that they pilot. Pen and Sashi have a samurai-like Jaeger called Bushido Gaiden, and their big weapon is this giant katana they just pull out, and it's the Jaeger itself looks like a samurai in armor. You've also got Anne and Sasha, who are together, and they have one called, what did I call it? I'm forgetting that one's name. Oh yeah, Paladin Alpha. So Paladin Alpha is like this Night One, energy shields and vast array of regular weaponry. Star and Marco's Jaeger is called what was that one? Hunter Monarch. Yeah, Hunter Monarch, and you've got Luz and Amity. Amity and Luz have another have one called Talon Epsilon, which is this really like smaller Jaeger which can have like a cloaking ability. The armor is lighter, it can move around faster. It's got like these serrated claws. So they're new Jaeger pilots who are, their whole mission is that pilots are kind of being used a lot, and all of these guys are drift compatible, and that's why they're paired off. The main focus I wanted to have is that this is more Amphibia focused than anything else. So for this Amphibia AU is where Anne is put with Sasha, who is one of the older cadets. And Sasha is really like, bitch, fuck off. I'm a pilot. The only reason you're here is because my last pilot, Marcy's, got messed up in the last one. So, in the last kaiju fight. So, what are you gonna do? But the whole point of this, and also you have Ford, who in this continuity is the leader of this group called, this particular outpost called, what did I call it? It wasn't Shadow Base. It was, what was it? Damn it. Forget it. But yeah, this particular base was basically their whole thing is that they are training these. It's a kaiju train. It's a Jaeger pilot training facility. But their whole thing is they are trying to. They have a very specific mission in hand, and that mission is basically what we got to do is keep the kaiju from attacking the southern islands and Japan and Korea. Like their whole thing is to keep those territories safe, because the whole idea for that I thought was the idea for Pacific Rim the Black was when the kaiju took Australia and Australia fell, that the precursors, the aliens who send the kaiju through, were going to use Australia like a beachhead, and that's why it's sealed off. Maybe that's what the Black is, to keep the precursors from sending kaiju and use Australia as like a beachhead to jump to other areas. So that's the whole thing, is that Australia is where they're breaching more kaiju, and whenever they get out and make it for like Japan or the Philippines or Korea, that's when these pilots come in, because they are basically the only major line that that they have. That you're the only major line of defense in this part of the Pacific. You know, those kaiju are, you know, the kaiju coming out of the sea are dealt by the major one, you know, by major pilots. So maybe thinking, well, why are they sending cadets out so soon into these, you know, into these dangerous situations? Well, it's because the Jaeger pilots are kind of being torn apart. So it's one of those do or die kind of situations where they're like, we have to do this kind of stuff and make sure that, you know, these other countries don't fall, and we only have so many Jaeger pilots, so we have to recruit younger and send them out. It's a war we're fighting, and it's nothing short of humanity's extinction if we lose. So these pilots, even though they're young, have to nut up or shut up, essentially. So, yeah, that's the idea, is that it's more focused on these groups of young pilots and young cadets fighting these waves upon waves of kaiju who are only getting stronger and nastier and just more and more dangerous. So that was the idea. The other major thing is that while, like, I want to have like a few other things, like Wendy is a more advanced pilot, and of course Dipper's trying to get her attention the whole time. He's like, yeah, I pilot Cypher Behemoth. I'm the co-pilot, but really I'm really the head pilot, and he's like leaning on some stuff. He's just like, oh god. Yeah, so I'm a cadet, but I'm really the major brains behind this. And Mabel always comes by and pulls him aside, like, let's go, you know, main man. We got monsters to kill. You've got Star and Marco who are drifting together and, you know, being lovers as they are, as just like Pen and Sashi, who are, and Luz and Amity. You know, you gotta love some Lumity in here for some kaiju fights. But yeah, that was just the fun idea. And like I said, the main focus would be Anne and Sasha in this story, and them learning to bond with one another, and learn how to be drift compatible with one another. Because Anne lost what was left of her family in a kaiju attack, and Sasha's like, so, welcome to everybody in this crew. Hey, raise your hand if you lost someone to a kaiju attack. Oh, every cadet in here? Yeah, you're not special. So, Sasha's more aggressive. Like, she doesn't care about the backstory, because for her, in this continuity, not only was she lost her whole family and home to kaiju, but her body, after she lived on the streets and was used repeatedly until she was eventually found by Ford and raised as like an adoptive kid, and learned that she could be drift compatible with in a Jaeger. So yeah, I know it's kind of a short video, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to just kind of throw this out here and really play with it. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this Pacific Rim AU? Do you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.